standing at the heart of the Ottoman world. Behind me lies Istanbul, the capital of a rising empire. The city is alive again, the ships fill the Bosphorus, and power is rising. If you enjoy exploring lost cities, like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe for more. Enjoy the video.
You are standing between Europe and Asia. The air carries the scent of the sea, and the wind moves softly across the city. Around you, Istanbul rises across rolling hills, domes and minarets reaching into the sky, some newly built, others standing from a fallen empire. And below you, stretching toward the Bosphorus, lies a city unlike anything you have ever seen. Stone walls that have stood for centuries, streets alive with movement, voices echoing through markets and courtyards. No chaos, only order, power, and precision. Water flows through fountains and channels, carefully guided through the city. And everywhere, in mosques, in palaces, in the lives of its people, power. Welcome to 24 Hours in Constantinople, reborn as the capital of the Ottoman Empire. Dawn. It is just before sunrise. The city rests under a deep blue sky, fading slowly into purple. You stand in silence, and then a voice rises. The call to prayer echoes across the city, not from machines, but from human voices, from minarets, one after another. Spreading through narrow streets and wooden homes, lights begin to appear. Candles, oil lamps, flickering behind small windows. At the fountains, figures gather. Water flows as men prepare for prayer. The quiet sound of metal pitchers and running water filling the air. Even within the palace, the day has begun. The first light touches the horizon. The great gates of the city begin to open. Heavy wooden doors, slowly moving, echoing through the stone walls. Outside, they have been waiting. Farmers, merchants, carrying baskets filled with milk, fruit, and vegetables, entering the city at first light. Caravans follow. Camels step forward slowly, their bells ringing softly, a rhythm that signals the beginning of trade. From the streets, a new scent rises. Wood fires, fresh bread. The city is waking. Now the sun begins to rise. Golden light spreads across the rooftops, touching wood, stone, and water. Smoke rises from homes. People begin their first meal of the day, simple, warm, bread and soup. In the markets, doors open. Wooden shutters lift one by one, the sound echoing through the streets. Merchants stand before their shops and quietly begin their day with prayer for honesty, for prosperity. The streets fill. Water carriers move through the city, leather bags across their shoulders, bringing life to every home. Students walk quickly, books in hand, heading toward the madrasas. Horses move through stone streets, their hooves creating a steady rhythm. Officials ride toward the palace, robes moving in the morning light. The city is no longer waking, it is alive. Every street, every courtyard, every voice, moving together in quiet order. This is Istanbul, at the beginning of a new day. Dawn. The sun has now climbed a hand's breadth above the horizon, casting long golden fingers across the rooftops of a city that is being born anew. As the morning mist over the Golden Horn begins to lift, it slowly reveals a forest of wooden masts and the gray, weathered stone of the ancient walls. The city is no longer whispering in the shadows of the night. It is beginning to speak in 1,000 different voices, echoing through the 7 hills. By 7 o'clock, the narrow, winding streets of Fatih and Aksaray are filled with the first long shadows of the day. You can see the faces of the new Istanbul, a living, breathing mosaic of people. There are Turkish merchants who have traveled from the heart of Anatolia, Greek craftsmen tending to their family workshops, Armenian jewelers beginning their delicate work, and Jewish scholars who have found a new home in this rising capital. They are a tapestry of nations, different threads woven together by a sultan's decree to bring life back to these ancient stones. The morning air itself tells a story. The faint, lingering scent of wood smoke is slowly replaced by the sharp, fresh smell of cedar wood and the salty, invigorating tang of the Marmara Sea. As we move toward 8:30, the city's pulse quickens and the silence of dawn is a distant memory. Near the busy shores of Eminönü, the entire world seems to arrive on the morning tide. Great galleys from Venice and heavy-bellied trade ships from the Black Sea sit moored side by side in the harbor. If you stand still and listen, you can hear the rhythmic, heavy thud of wooden crates being lowered onto the docks. You hear the shouting of the porters, the hamals, who carry the immense wealth of distant nations on their sturdy backs. Inside the Grand Bedestene, the heart of the city's commerce, the heavy iron locks are turning with a deep, metallic echo that bounces off the high stone arches. Step inside, and the air becomes thick and heavy. It is a world of its own, perfumed with the scent of dried cloves, pungent cinnamon, and the most precious saffron brought from the east. In this era, there is no coffee yet. That dark, aromatic secret is still a century away. Instead, men gather in the cool shadows of the vaulted ceilings over steaming cups of herbal sherbet. They negotiate the price of Persian silk and Indian spice with a quiet intensity. Here, honesty is more than a virtue. It is the absolute law of the market. The shadow of the mutasib is always felt, ensuring that every scale is balanced and every word spoken is as true as gold. By 9:30, a different kind of rhythm begins to echo across the hills. It is a symphony of construction. Clink, 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 the sound of 1,000 iron chisels striking white marble. High on the fourth hill, the Fatih Kulesi is rising, stone by heavy stone. It is a massive city within a city, a place destined for learning, for healing, and for prayer. From this height, the masons and architects move like ants over the massive wooden scaffolding, building the heart of a new civilization. From the high towers of the new palace, the Sarai-i-Jadid, the Sultan himself watches, Mehmed, the conqueror. His eyes are not fixed on the ruins of the past, but on the wide horizon of the future. For him, this city is no longer a conquest. It is a home to be built by the spirit. The order is set, the foundation is deep, the vision is clear. Now it is mid-morning. The quiet prayers of the dawn have become the roar of a world capital. Toward the Edirne Gate, clouds of dust rise from the hooves of the Sipahi cavalry, their robes moving in the wind as they ride toward the edges of the empire. The fountains are flowing, the madrasas are full, the ovens are hot. This is not just a city that has survived. This is a city that has been reborn. Istanbul, standing proud at the height of its first great morning. From the quiet of dawn. Now, the sun climbs toward its peak. Shadows shorten. The roar of the city reaches its height. We leave behind the noise of trade, the porters of the harbor, and the dust of construction, and we turn toward the spiritual heart of this civilization, Hagia Sophia. It is 11. As the shadow of the Sultan's new palace stretches across the Marmara Sea, we step inside through the Rose Gate. The vast silence of this ancient stone structure, once walked by emperors and patriarchs, cuts through the noise of the city. Its immense Byzantine dome rises toward infinity. But Hagia Sophia is no longer a church. It is now the mosque of a new civilization. In the year 1466, Byzantine stone is transformed by Ottoman intention. Between those towering marble columns, the minbar rises. The mihrab faces the Qibla, and within the dome, a new and elegant calligraphy echoes the name of one God. Now, as the sun reaches its peak, the most important detail is the light. Sunlight pours in through the high Byzantine windows, illuminating the dust in the air. Beams of light rise like marble pillars, turning human presence into something almost weightless. This scale melts the past of Byzantium and the future of the Ottomans into a single moment. And then the call to prayer echoes through Hagia Sophia, deep, resonant, endless. Merchants from the Bedestan, calligraphers from their shops, Sipahi cavalry from Edirne Gate, the Sultan from his new palace, all flow beneath this dome. What was once divided is now united in a single line. The quiet prayers of dawn have become a unified roar. Noon, Istanbul stands as one, standing proud in the heart of its first great noon. As the echoes of the noon prayer fade within the great dome, the crowds begin to disperse. While the city returns to its daily bustle, we slip away into the silent courtyard of the madrasa. Here, a new empire is sealed, not just with the sword, but with the power of the pen. While the sun sits at its zenith, the thick stone walls guard a deep and sacred coolness. Inside, the rhythm of time shifts. The only sound is the soft scratch of reed pens on paper. The scent of soot ink and heavy parchment lingers as young students hunch over their wooden desks. They decipher the medicine of Ibn Sina on one side and the logic of Aristotle on the other. The wisdom of the East meets the ancient knowledge of the West within these very rooms. Around 3, as light pours through high windows, illuminating dust motes like drifting stars, a shadow appears at the threshold. Sultan Mehmed has cast aside his heavy royal kaftan. He joins the discussions with the humility of a scholar, a ruler seeking truth beyond his throne. In these rooms, he calculated the mathematics of the cannons that breached the ancient walls, for he knows that those who do not possess knowledge cannot rule the world. Now, the sun begins to descend. Golden light falls from the heavens, painting the marble pillars. Lessons are gathered, books are closed, and inkwells are sealed for the day. Students walk through the courtyard, their whispers trailing from philosophy to the mysteries of astronomy. The afternoon sun glides down the minarets, reaching across the 7 hills of Istanbul. Shadows claim the courtyard, minds are full, and the tired pens are finally laid to rest. As evening approaches, this madrasa of 1466 has already built the future upon paper. The day bows, but the knowledge remains. As the sun sinks into the deep waters of the Marmara, like a heavy golden ingot, the evening call to prayer begins to echo across the 7 hills. The city bids farewell to the day's toil with a crown of orange silence. Within the narrow streets of the walled city, a rhythmic rush takes hold. As merchants lower their iron shutters for the final time, a cool breeze from the Golden Horn carries the scent of spice and sea into timber houses. In the madrasa courtyard, the fountain waters darken with the first shadows of dusk. As students perform their ablutions in quiet devotion, the weight of the day's lessons gives way to the serenity of the soul. The massive city gates are bolted shut for the night with heavy iron bars. Istanbul now becomes a fortress, turning inward upon itself. Caravans left outside seek refuge in the torchlight of inns nestled against the walls. The lamp-lighters scatter through the alleys with their long wooden poles. As olive oil lamps awaken one by one, giant shadows begin their dance upon the ancient stone walls. The aroma of the last loaves of bread rises from neighborhood bakeries. Faint lights flickering from bay windows gleam in the eyes of the stray cats roaming the cobblestones. Now it is time to look across the water to Galata, the world of Genoese sailors, Greek fishermen, and Venetian merchants awakens to the roar of the port, mingling with the distant call to prayer. A massive beacon ignites atop the Galata Tower. Its shadow falls like a giant over the galleys docking at the pier. This is a threshold where money and the sea never truly sleep. The clatter of wine barrels echoes from the taverns in the steep alleys, as dock workers and adventurers huddle around tables in the lamplight. All the languages of the world blend into one in this small port town. Torches burn on the new walls of Topkapi at the Seraglio Point. Sultan Mehmed the Conqueror watches the opposite shore from his library window. In his mind, there is no room for sleep, only the expansion of horizons. Night watchmen, known as the 𝐒𝐿𝐧𝐭𝐞𝐩𝐈𝐧𝐭𝐲𝐲, move through the dark, striking their staffs on the stones. Each thud is a rhythmic whisper to the night, "You are safe." The streets of Istanbul find peace in this steady heartbeat. In �_𝐲𝐲 shops, the scent of warm, fermented grain accompanies deep conversations. Coffee has not yet reached these lands, but the people have thousands of years of stories to tell one another. For the night prayer, the grand chandeliers of the mosques are lit. The light of 1,000 lamps unites beneath the domes, drowning the darkness in a sacred illumination. Inside the homes, coal braziers glow as families gather for the meal. The silence is broken only by the distant hoot of an owl. The Istanbul of 1466 falls into a deep dream upon its 7 hills. As midnight approaches, even the port of Galata settles. Phosphorescence on the sea carries the memories of the conquest. Forged in knowledge and guarded by the sword, this mighty city breathes in peace until the first light of tomorrow. We are in Istanbul in the year 1466. The night prayer has just been called. The city has fallen into a darkness that its modern descendants will never witness. In these streets, night is not merely a time for sleep. It is a realm of absolute silence and discipline. There is only one sound that breaks the silence: the oak staffs of the 𝐒𝐿𝐧𝐭𝐞𝐩𝐈𝐧𝐭𝐲𝐲. These night watchmen patrol the streets, like the beating heart of the city. With every step, they strike their staffs against the stones, delivering a message: "Sleep, you are safe, we are here." But this safety comes with strict rules. The most important, walking the streets without a lantern is forbidden. If you are outside at this hour without a light in your hand, the law sees you as a thief or a spy. The 𝐒𝐿𝐧𝐭𝐞𝐩𝐈𝐧𝐭𝐲𝐲 will stop you, question you, and if you have no valid reason, you will spend the night in the dark prison of the 𝐿𝐵𝐴𝐻𝐻𝐻. Light is not just a necessity, it is a symbol of honesty. The flame must fall upon your face, so that who you are can be seen. Istanbul is like a giant that has locked its gates and turned inward, and its peace is protected by these nameless guardians. Their lanterns make the shadows dance across the silent streets. Those quiet knock-knock sounds of the night became etched into the soul of this city for centuries. Even if we no longer hear them beneath the lights of the modern world, their legacy still lives in every corner. Step into the past and understand the world you live in today. Welcome to Step Into History. If you want to explore more hidden stories of the past, subscribe and tell us which civilization we should bring to life next. Istanbul may have just been reborn, but its legacy is already moving silently through every street, every port, and every idea that will shape the world to come.